Hi, welcome. I'm a person, you're a person, welcome to personhood and also my floor. If you haven't been here before, my name is Noah and I run this channel, kind of. I also make games and that's what I'm going to be talking about. As you can probably guess from the title, I'm going to be going through the reasons as to why I decided to switch game engines from Unity to Godot and also switch my platforming game change my platforming game into an ARPG. And I'm going to start with the ARPG thing first. The reason is simply that every single project after this first game that I want to publish is an ARPG. Every single one. I prefer RPGs over platformers. But I had this mindset of this is my first year of game development and I'm going to learn on something hard. And then after I'm good at it, then I'm going to enjoy it. Really. I decided to just start enjoying it now and I changed it. It doesn't help that one of the first Godot tutorials that I saw was on an ARPG and I was like, fuck it, that's it, let's do this. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Now, as to why I changed the game engine. You can watch my Unity incident here. I made a video, very emotional, many feelings. And I had tonsil surgery, so I've been recovering for 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, I just was very bored because I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't go outside, I couldn't even breathe because my throat flesh got so fucking swollen that it blocked my nasal passages. So I was very miserable and I needed something to do. So already disappointed with Unity and kind of liking Godot, I tried out Godot and Game Maker. I finished two tutorial series in both engines. Both were an ARPG game. I'm gonna link both down below. They're really good tutorials. Like if you're looking into maybe switching or working with the engine or maybe looking into game development as a whole, those tutorials are gonna give you a very good first impression, I think, of whatever game engine you're gonna choose. Now for the option I didn't go with. I really liked Game Maker at first, but then I realized I hated its UI system. I really did. UI is something that has a much bigger learning curve for me and I have no idea why. It's so meticulous, I can't code like that. I feel like that's why I don't like a lot of the front-end languages. I try to learn like HTML and stuff and oh god, like it just does not go into my head. It's so boring. No. And when I saw that in Game Maker you had to code your UI, there was no editor, you couldn't see it before you started a game, you had to type everything out, I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be a no for me. One thing I'm gonna give Game Maker though is that it looks really good. It was very easy to use. It was very intuitive for me. It was very nicely categorized. It fulfills its purpose, I guess, of being built for a certain kind of game. And I think it will be, for anyone who can deal with UIs, that would be a good choice. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't choose it because my game was running at like 200 FPS on my computer. It was so smooth. But I just can't live with the frustration of that UI system. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be talking about Godot. I'm gonna open my game project. I'm gonna show you what I have so far, which I'm sure you're all here for, I guess. And we're just gonna talk about it. So enjoy. Okay, so welcome to the project. This is called Thorne Test, as it's a test build. As you can see, I have a bunch of tile maps over here, and I have a lot of stuff to show you in the scene, so let's get to it. Before I start, I just want to mention that this project is built on a tutorial by Heartbeast that I really recommend. I already said that, I think. I'm only mentioning this because, I mean, apart from it being a really good series, because I still have some assets left over from the tutorial, like this grass effect. I've since gone in and changed most of the assets and made new ones and done changes to the code, but there's still some stuff remaining, and I just wanted to point that out in case people are wondering. I cannot take credit for that if you do see them. I really wanted to change the hit effect for this video, but I forgot, and I just realized as I was filming this that it's still there and you will see it in the video, and I just wanted to let people know where it's from. Anyway, let's actually get into the meat of the video. Here I have something I just quickly threw together. As you can see, you have a little setup for the player and some enemy units. Clara's here, of course, living out her mean girl fantasy. It's actually my mean girl fantasy, but shh. As you can probably tell, a lot of my time during the past 2 weeks has been spent drawing assets for this game, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the process now. First, I wanted to show you Clara's spreadsheet. It's probably one of the longest spreadsheets I've made in my life, and it's still not done. Design-wise, I took away the big gun that you can see in the thumbnail, just because it was easier to draw, and honestly, it looks much more expressive with a smaller gun. I thought the concept of somebody hitting somebody with a pistol and then shooting at them was funny, so that's exactly what she's gonna do. I'm also trying to get into the habit of just making something and then going back in to refine it. A lot of these animations are very rough, but I'm kind of comfortable frustrated by the idea of I have all the time in the world to just go back and make something better if I feel like it. On a real note, I went to school for graphic design and fine art, and I'm quite the perfectionist when it comes to anything that I do, and I just need to get over myself and produce things, because it's better to make a bunch of imperfect things and learn and grow than just be stuck doing nothing in the name of like perfection or whatever. That's your daily cup of ambiguous wisdom from me. Next up is the swordsman. He's one of many autonomous soldiers that the country of Illustria deploys, in this case to prevent people from getting near the tower that Clara so desperately wants to get into. There will be at least one more that I've planned of his type that can attack from further away, and this one is a melee unit. He has a slash attack, as you can see, and he also has a lunge move that he uses to close the gap between him and you, the player. His goal is basically to force you to engage him in close combat. When it comes to tiling, I've been mostly experimenting a lot because I've never done a top-down tile map before. It was definitely the most time-consuming part, and I would say that out of 2 weeks, I probably spent like 5 days working on just tiles and tile sets. And I can already tell you that a lot of these are going to get reworks. I'm actually glad it took that long, because now I have a lot of experience designing them, and now I know what not to do and how to prevent the same mistakes happening in the future. So lesson learned, I guess. One thing I will say about Godot is that I really like its tiling system, but setting collisions on tiles can be a little tedious because you have to go in and do each one separately. So I think I'm going to take a page out of what I learned about Game Maker and just do a tile map with just collisions. I don't know, just have one 16 by 16 tile that has a collider and then just put it everywhere I want a collision to happen and then make the tile map invisible. Now I'm going to show you some of my code. When I first saw Godot's programming language, I was very surprised as to how easy it seemed compared to C#, but I think looks can be deceiving because it's still a very powerful language, and I feel like you have to pay much more attention to this than C#. Even just one misplaced line of code has caused complete crashes to my game, whereas that wouldn't happen in, for example, C# in Unity. At least not as often. I do actually kind of prefer that, as it's going to make me a better programmer in the long run, at least I believe so. I love the way enums are declared and state machines are handled in Godot much more than in C#. It's so much more elegant, so much more easy. One thing I don't like is all the colors in the editor. I am autistic and it's a little overwhelming for me. I will try to change it. I'm not sure if it's possible, but I'll look into a way to do that. You could also probably tell that my scripts are very cluttered, and I'm trying to find a solution for that, especially for the player script. The rest isn't that important, but the player, something I'm going to work with a lot. I would like it to be a little more organized, so I was thinking of like separating each of my state into a separate script and then assigning it to a node that's going to do all the state code for me. And again, as I said, especially when it comes to the player, the rests and things that are going to be transported from level to level, like for example the swordsman doesn't need a more organized script. I'm fine with everything being the way it is because it's just a starting enemy, so I don't need to waste so much time on making it look more organized for me, for my tastes. Again, I'm trying to do more and make more and finish more and be less picky about what I do and how I do it. Because I don't think the expectation that I have of myself to make everything perfect, even when it's a thing that I'm just learning how to do, I don't think that's a very healthy one to have. One thing that I'm going to mention though that I had a lot of problems with and I'm going to warn about is this queue-free method, which basically destroys the instance of whatever you created in the scene. So for example, if an enemy dies, I want to destroy it, I would use this method. But it has caused so many crashes because I find that it processes destroying the instance in a different speed than the physics process. So for example, if you have an object with a lot of area 2D specifically, the areas are going to still try to collide even after the object has been destroyed or marked for destruction, and that will crash your game. I am currently handling that issue with this spaghetti noodle of a function. I'm not proud of it. It looks horrible, but it gets the job done, so whatever. Basically what I do is at the same time that I call the queue-free method, I toggle a bool, and then I just turn off all the collisions in the physics function, which because it's faster, it causes no issues, and it makes me so happy that I figured out a solution around that, even though it is, there's probably a better way. I'm also trapping it in an animation on purpose because I want to have a looting system, so instead of it dropping loot, you just kind of walk up to its corpse and steal from it. Would it be looting at that point, or is it grave robbing? I mean, there's no grave, it's just a corpse. I don't know. As for the player logic, you can tell I have a couple different states. The move state handles both idle and, well, moving. You have a dash state, which I'm actually very proud of because I made it so that you can dash or set your dash while attacking, so you can interrupt your attack and then dash away in case you overestimated your own competence. Without that option, the dash would just get stuck in the same direction you were attacking in, so if you try to dash while attacking, attacking, you would just dash into the enemy, and I didn't really like that for what are, I hope, obvious reasons. The player also has attack and shooting states, but I'd rather show you those in action. You can tell that I'm handling the enemy logic in the same way, and for anyone who's confused by the match keyword, it's just a switch statement, but for Godot. Now finally, after all that, I can actually show you what the game looks like when you play it. You can see that initially I'm getting some lag, and that's always the case when I start it up, and I also find that minimizing the editor itself really helps with the lag. Not sure why, it just does. The game runs much more smoothly, and here you can see that I have almost no issues recording. The game ran super smoothly while I was recording. The only lag spikes that you can see here are from OBS being a little bitch. I'm giving us a better view, and I'm starting to tour, I guess. I'm really happy with how these pools came out. There's going to be colliders in the middle, so you won't actually be able to go in like the deeper water. The grass I don't like. I'm missing texture. I don't know how to do grass texture. I mentioned it in previous videos. I absolutely despise drawing grass, and I'm trying to learn, but it's a slow process. These walls are also getting a lot of reworks, probably because I don't know how to draw walls in a top-down map. You can see the collision here isn't working properly because I made the tile too small, and I'm going to remove the grass from the top because I think it looks a little like hair rather than grass, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Here you saw an effect from the tutorial that I forgot to replace, and here you can see I experimented with different types of water, and it was just, yeah, it doesn't really look good. I think I'm just gonna use the pools as the default water texture. You can also see I have a little particle effect when I walk, and this guy's coming at me, so I'm going to dash. And you can see what the dash looks like in game. I really like it, but I will have to restrict it eventually because it's just very convenient to be able to escape anything and everything when I want you to actually fight the things that are coming at you. So I personally think that I did good on the dash. I really like how it feels. The animation is definitely getting a touch up at some point, if you can even call it that, because I feel like with the way that her body changes into energy, it just kind of looks like she's taking damage when she's not. And there you saw a little bullet fly. This is the shooting state. You basically stop in your tracks and you shoot out a bullet, which then explodes. These bullets explode after a short amount of time. They're called unstable bullets. And yeah, they're your first bullet of choice. Also, I just realized that the effect that plays when the enemy dies is also from the tutorial. Oh god. You can see the swordsman here lunging at me, trying to get close and then attacking me. The pink effect that you see is the parry effect. The one on the swordsman's sword is the signal, so you know which attacks can be parried. I'm currently out of his reach for testing purposes. If you attack at the right time after he signals, then you can parry and take no damage. Right now, it's still work in progress, so it's not implemented perfectly yet. You're technically also able to parry the lunge attack, but I'm currently missing any kind of signal that he's going to perform it, so it's very easy to get hit by it. He also currently only has attack animations that face down, but he will be able to get you in all 4 cardinal directions soon. Anyway, that's mostly it what I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the video so far if you're still hanging around, and if you know somebody who likes game development, or you yourself want to support the project, the easiest way is to just share this video or comment down below with your thoughts on literally anything or suggestions for anything. I appreciate any kind of help I can get in making this game because, yeah, I'm just one person and it's a very time-consuming process, to be completely honest, but I'm enjoying every step of it. I also suck at marketing. I really want to be more frequent with updates, especially on this channel, because I generally have fun making these videos and talking to people about it, but I don't know, I'm just not good at social media, I guess, but I am trying to be better, so I hope somebody out there appreciates that. Anyway, thank you for watching, thank you for liking the video if you liked it, thank you for subscribing, everyone who subscribed so far, I love you, and see you next time, bye!